All right, you guys. So I'm having a little break in between me organizing my stuff. Um, and we're going to have a little chat about the mother wound because, as I promised you, this month is going to be the month of mother wound. Um, Linking to the package and the healing experience that I recently launched, self-healing experience, to sort of give you more information if you're interested in that package or you purchased this package already, so it can give you more and more insight on the mother wound. Or even if you haven't, you just want to learn something more. So today I want to give you that number one key indication that someone has a mother wound, right? So if they have that, rest assured it comes from a mother wound. So we're going to dive deeper into that thing, and then I'm going to give you some shadows that it links to, and then I will also give you 3 models of a mother that can actually create that within us, because it can be very different. I say this to you guys all the time. Mother wound is misunderstood by some people. They really think that you had to have had a abusive mother or completely absent mother to have a mother wound, which is not the case. And as I always say to you guys, we all have a mother wound. We all have a mother wound to a certain extent, right? It's sort of a spectrum of the depths of this wound. But what I want to talk to you about today, and it is the number one indication of a mother wound, and it will sort of prove to you how much we all have it, right? And that thing is lack of deep, profound, unconditional self-love. If someone doesn't have profound, true, unconditional self-love, and we're going to explain that concept as well, because you would be surprised how most people think that they love themselves, but it's not really true. It always comes from a mother wound. It always comes from a mother wound because it is a role of the feminine energy within our life, through example and action, to teach us to love ourselves, to teach us to truly, deeply, unconditionally love ourselves. So when we talk about self-love, we don't just mean people who, roam around saying, yeah, I love myself, I want the best for myself. But we mean really, really deep self-love on the level of your body, on the level of your spirit, your mind, on the level of your existence, unconditional, truly believing in your worth. Because as human beings, we all have a unique frequency, very unique frequency that makes us who we are. And it is the distortion within the feminine element, and it is distortion within the system that we live in, that makes us believe that we have to do something to be worthy, that we have to be pretty, that we have to graduate from university, that we have to act a certain way. It is not true, right? So that deep self-love should be unconditional. And that is something that your mother, that feminine element in your life, is supposed to teach you. So when we talk about someone who has that deep self-love, we talk about a person who, first of all, you love your existence on a level of mind and body. So you don't question your looks, right? You're not standing in front of a mirror, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I need some Botox, I need to spend hours at the gym to look different way. You understand that your body is a vessel for your spirit, and all you want to do is to make sure that it's happy and healthy, that you're deeply connected to your body, that you nourish it properly when it comes to energy, when it comes to foods, when it comes to activities, but you do it from a place of love, not from a place to look certain way, to satisfy, external world, or to fit into a specific mold. And similarly, when we talk about your, sorry for the noise, I just want to be out, the weather is so nice. Similarly, when we talk about your existence and your mind, we talk about a situation when you don't think to yourself that, oh, my worth is less because I didn't graduate from university, or because I don't have a keen mind, or because there are people who are smarter than I am. You understand that we all unique. We cannot be same. We cannot all have a smart mind. We cannot all have a certain, certain body, and it doesn't really matter. It's all the program of today's society, and it's something that constantly changes. And I say this to you guys all the time. So that's the first level of that self-love. And the second level is that you really, really, truly, deeply, you really, truly, deeply want best for yourself. You want best for yourself. People who have self-love, they don't have karmic relationships. They don't have toxic partners. They don't have partners who don't see them really for who they are. They don't put themselves in friends with benefits relationships, with in and out relationships. They don't put themselves, it's not just in relationships, it's in friendships as well, but also when it comes to jobs, right? So if you really deeply love yourself, you truly believe, again, through what your mother taught you, through what that feminine energy taught you, you truly deeply believe that you deserve, that it is your birthright. That's what your mother is supposed to teach you. It's your birthright to have a fulfilling, happy life, right? It doesn't mean, again, it's a society. It doesn't mean that you're going to have millions, on your bank accounts and live in in a mansion. But someone who loves themselves believes that I have a right to have a job, that I'm respected, that that is to some level fulfilling to me, that I have relationships with people who truly love me, care for me, whether that's friends, family, partnership. They don't take advantage of me. They see me for my worth. So someone who really, really loves themselves would rather be on their own. As I always say to you guys, cabin in the woods, then have friendships that are shallow, then have relationships that are not true soul relationships, someone who sees you for your naked soul, right? So this is what we mean when we talk about self-love, right? So when you don't have that in some shape or form, on some level, because again, it's going to be a plethora of options, shadows that can emerge. Obviously, you can have worthiness issues. You can have imposter syndrome, constantly feel like you're in a place or in a relationship or in a job that you're not really deserving. You don't know what you're doing here. You can have inferiority syndrome, constantly feel, sometimes it happens, it sort of translates into that sister wound. So you never feel equal with anyone. You always feel like people are smarter and prettier. Overall, just, I'm waiting for the train to pass, overall just better, right? In consequence of that, you can self-sabotage a lot, your relationships, your career situations in life. You can subconsciously, a lot of that happens subconsciously, you guys. You would be very, very surprised. I know many people, and I've worked with many people who thought that they love themselves, but if you look at their environment, it's full of distraction, toxic, sort of a constantly changing friends, right? So many people, again, they don't realize that. And you can be putting yourself, when you lack self-love, you can be putting yourself in environments when it's really bare minimum, because then you feel a little bit better. Because someone who really loves themselves, you want to surround yourself with the best, because you feel you deserve it. You don't have to do anything. I deserve the best friends. I deserve the best partner, because that's also what I bring to the table. I know my worth, and I know my worth doesn't depend on my looks, my clothes, my bank account, my education. It's the vibration of my spirit, right? It's my values. It's what I truly, truly, deeply believe in, right? So I want to give you now 3 sort of models, types of mother that can create, to a certain extent, that womb within you, right? I just realized I have absolutely 0 filter on, which is very uncommon. I usually put on the smoothing filter, but the weather is so nice, the sun is so amazing that I don't even have to. And I couldn't care less, because I love myself. I'm beautiful just the way I am. All right. So first model of a mother that obviously will create that wound within you is the absent mother, right? Is the absent mother. So we can have variety of things here. So obviously absent mother can be a mother that just was not there for you. So maybe you don't even remember your mother. Maybe she left or she passed when you were very young. And just a side note, it can also be combination of few, right? So you can have a mother that was is falling into one of these two categories. So maybe she passed away when you were in your late teens, early 20s, which can still create that mother wound and abandonment. But when she was present, maybe she would fall into one of the next categories that I will talk about. So it can be a sort of a mix and match. But the first category is an absent mother. So mother that was not there. So again, either physically, she was not there for you, which creates a horrible abandonment and horrible mother wound, very, very intense. But it can also be a mother that physically, theoretically, she was there, but she was never there for you, right? So we can be talking about situations where, for example, you had a single mom that she was a hustler, she was struggling, she had to work 2 or 3 jobs, she was never there in the house, she would always leave you like with nannies or like family members. We can be talking about the mother that maybe she didn't struggle, but she was just not interested in being a mother and being present for you. So something was always more important, whether that's her friends, her partners. Sometimes it can be a career, right? So unfortunately, I know that many people don't accept that, but to a woman, as a feminine energy, when we talk about divine feminine, your mission as an element of spirit on this earth, we're going to be talking about mission this month on my channel as well, should always take priority. But it should be mission, not career. When your career is more important, physical 3D career, your actual job, how you make pentacles is more important than your family, than your children, mothers that make a huge effort to take the shortest leave of absence when they have that baby or when the baby needs them. It's not a true divine feminine, right? So again, mission, yes. Your purpose, yes, in this world. You as your self-love, very important. But a 3D career, it should never take priority, right? So maybe that can also create that absent mother, that she was constantly working because she had a career and it was important to her and she was never there, maybe constantly traveling, right? So it's any kind of absence that you can think of, because one of the ways you teach that unconditional love, and it's not just self-love, but the vibration of love, it comes patience, it comes with presence, it comes with being there for the people you love, teaching them that they are their priority, right? That loving them, being there for them, especially when they're children, when they're very vulnerable, when you're just learning your emotions, when you're learning life, when you still haven't blended your body and your spirit properly in this life, it's very important. So that's the first case. The second case is cold mother, right? So a mother that maybe she was there, maybe she was there for you, but she just did not know how to express, because the feminine energy is supposed to be a master of love languages, a teacher of love, right? We are the frequency of love. This is our job in this yin and yang sort of a wholeness of this world, part of that duality. It's the love, it's the inner words, it's the emotion, it's the softness, right? So a mother wound can be created, and that lack of self-love if you had a mother that was a cold mother. So again, it's going to be a spectrum how it's going to look like. You can have an extremely cold mother who is very, even mentally abusive, that would always criticize you, that would never say anything nice to you, that will always, everything that we mentioned when we talk about self-love, she would always undervalue that, and she would always undermine that. And maybe you're too fat, maybe you have to go to the gym, maybe you have to put on more makeup, maybe you have to learn more because you have to study, because it's so important for who you're going to be in this world, right? So this coldness that doesn't come with, you know, affections and I love you no matter what. Never said that, you know, she loved you or she was proud of you, but it can also be milder. Just a mother that maybe, you know, she tried her best. I always say this to you guys, part of healing mother wound, father wound is accepting that our parents did the best they could. So it can be just a situation where she was maybe a good mother, a good person, very loving person, but she was just naturally cold. Not everyone, not every woman, I mean, every woman who is healed is truly in her warmth and in her loving energy. But when there is a level of distortion, I find that particularly women who are in their masculine element, which is very common these days, right? They just don't know how to express that love. They don't know how to be soft with you. They don't know how to hold you body on body. They don't know how to, they don't master those 5 love languages, right? So maybe she loved you, but acts of service was her love language. She didn't master the physical touch or words of affirmation, or, you know, if it's just quality time and acts of service, right? Especially these 2 are very important. So words of affirmation and physical touch, if they're absent, it does translate a little bit into that coldness, right? So again, love comes with affection, with caring, with warmth, with that nurturing, loving embrace of the feminine that teaches us that vibration of love. So if that wasn't present, it can create that mother wound. And that third model that I want to tell you guys about is something that I find that people usually ignore. So when you talk about absent mother, cold mother, it's sort of a normal, it's sort of a natural that you're going to understand that she could have created that wound within you. But the third thing is a mother that maybe she was present, maybe she was warm, maybe she was very caring, maybe she was very soft, but she herself didn't know self-love. And I always say this to you guys, our children are not what we tell them to be. They are not what we educate them to be. They are an energetic copy of us. So if a frequency of a specific emotion doesn't exist within you, no matter how much you explain this in words, your child will not be able to feel that. So if you have a child or your mother, she would say to you every day, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're valuable. But then subconsciously you observing her, and we're very smart creatures, right? It's on a subconscious level. We naturally understand. If you then observe her and you saw that she didn't have self-love because she was a doormat for other people, she was a people pleaser, she could tell you that you're the most beautiful person on the face of the planet, but she herself then would stand in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I gotta do Botox, or oh my God, I gotta hit the gym because I have to fit in a bikini, right? Or she would stay in a relationship that was toxic, that wasn't serving, whether that's her partner or your father, that was maybe abusive, or there was no loyalty, maybe there was cheating, right? It means that you don't love yourself. Everything that I said to you in the beginning, right? So you can try to teach your child as a mother that you have to have a partner that will love you, respect you, cherish you, that you're beautiful, that you're smart, because you see subconsciously that wound within you. But if you yourself don't embody that, if you yourself don't say no to things that don't align with that unconditional self-worth, again, you're a doormat, you're a people pleaser, you self-sabotage, you stay in toxic relationships, you constantly criticize, your body, your existence, your value, you're not going to teach self-love to a child. There was one thing that I wanted to mention to you guys as well, in terms of, it came to my mind going back to that cold mother, that there's one more thing that goes around. I always say this to you guys, that a true divine feminine has a healed heart, and in the healed heart space, energy point, or healed heart chakra, there is no place for judgment, right? So sometimes that lack of self-love And it's sort of going to be in between in between those two second categories, number 2 and number 3. If you had a mother that was very judgmental towards herself and others, so even if, again, she says to you, you're beautiful, you're smart, you look great, you look amazing because you're my baby and I love you and you're perfect, but then you observe her criticizing other women, whether that's on TV or whether that's women in real life. Who does she think she is? Why is she wearing a skirt that is so short? Why is she like doing this and doing that? Like, or herself, oh my god, I have to, spend more time on like a cardio because I have to do more cardio because I'm not gonna fit in a bikini, or like, oh my god, look at these wrinkles, right? And so on and so forth. So even if it doesn't go directly to you, but there's a lot of judgment on a shallow level, falling into that mold of a society that is a complete program and has nothing to do with our true value, that will also program you to that lack of self-love. Because it's logic, you guys. It's logic. So even if someone tells you that you're perfect, if they don't apply this rule to absolutely every person, you're just gonna think to yourself, well, she says that because she's my mother, she loves me, she has to say it, right? She would never say to me that I'm this and that. So think about it as well. I think that's everything that I had in mind to share with you today. So yeah, if you have questions, let me know. If you're interested in healing your mother wound, I always say this, and you can go to my I posted a video about this some time ago on TikTok, but I find it's a little bit easier to sometimes browse through Instagram or through YouTube. But there's a video pinned to my Instagram about this package, Healing Mother Wound Package. You can also read about this on my website. So I explained in this video that it has a spectrum, right? It's sort of how deep that wound goes. It's going to be very individual. So for some of you, the package that I created, which is a self-help, shadow work and healing experience, is going to be enough to go through every single possible shadow. Just like we discussed self-love, there are a couple of more core things that your mother, that feminine energy, is supposed to teach you. So you can go through that in that healing experience, and it's going to be enough. Some of you, it's going to go so much deeper. Also going towards the forgiveness that's part of healing that wound. So you may need to sign up for a session, shadow work session, healing session, and go through this sort of a one-on-one. But yeah, I strongly encourage you to start working on that, because I always say this: the mother wound, father wound, and the inner child, they're on top of the shadow work pyramid. Every other shadow is going to link back to that, right? And I think I've mentioned this in that video, that in order to have a shadow that doesn't go back to father wound and mother wound, in reality, it would have to be in an adult life, it would really have to be a severe trauma. So sometimes it happens that you don't have a betrayal wound from your father on your mother, but then maybe one of your first relationships created an incredible betrayal wound. But 90% of your shadows and 90% of your wounds will go back to that father wound and that mother wound. So it's really important on a journey of healing. So I encourage you to check that out, that healing experience that I created, or sign up for a session if that's something that you prefer. And if you have any questions, again, let me know. I think I may post this on YouTube as well, because the stories on TikTok disappear. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave your questions in the comments. And yeah, I love you so incredibly much. You're unique, wonderful frequency. You matter to this world. We all do. We all have the capacity within us to create a ripple effect in this world that you could not even imagine, because it's not part of your job to imagine. Part of your job is just to be, just to exist. It's your birthright to thrive in this life. So I hope you will get there. I love you so incredibly much, and I'm gonna go back to organizing my stuff, because apparently I'm a hoarder and I have so much more than I actually need, that anyone needs. So yeah, spring cleaning. It's not spring, but well, it is spring somewhere, the southern hemisphere, and I'm going to be there soon, so we could say that it's a spring cleaning. Yeah, I love you, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you. How rudely interrupted every time. I will see you later, because I will start creating that series on your path, how to tap into your path and your mission as well. So we'll speak soon. Bye.